By the time you watch this, there should be a vote open for whether we watch the third One Piece movie, Chopper's Kingdom. If you fancy it being covered, pledge any amount and get a vote, link to Patreon below. What's that I hear you yelling? Another new location with totally different looking buildings yet again? Yeah, that's right, take my win! As weird as it might sound, getting a look at what a lot of pirates can be like, as up till now, this hasn't so much been the case of just wildly attacking and looting. Right away making that lore more tasty than it seemed to be on the surface. Could have just been powerful bad guys, but right away we're faced with the notion that the people love him. Getting our first proper look at the dude, and he's very unique looking, I gotta say. In the same vein as win number 2449, the pirates are also clearly split. Some want some semblance of order, whilst people like this think they're sellouts basically, or traitors. Considering it's all hand done, the effects look nothing short of fantastic on this ability. Also though, yet another new and unique ability! Oh! The honestly pretty gruesome looking aftermath of his attack looking really decent. It should be noted that whilst he's clearly a bad guy, he obviously aimed his attack at absolutely none of them. Although he did say he would hit anyone standing, but at least he didn't hit them. Making this already on the surface anyway an interesting political issue for them. Clearly I'm presuming they want to fight their own battles ideally, but at the moment he's beating them to it. Also though, aging this dude a little if I recall when we saw him a few years ago in the past during the last episode. Luffy is essentially like a big old Labrador or something. Clearly he's done something wrong, and the way he's acting is like when I asked my boy if a yogurt pot on the floor was his doing. Putting what can be described as a heck lot of frames into that kick and its effects on Luffy. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Nami wields a lot of power on this ship in different ways, and I personally really like it as Sanji pleads for a lockable fridge. Also though, these adorable looking legends, plus Usopp sitting here and fishing. Also as an aside, as a commenter noted and I hadn't picked up on, Elbaf is Fable backwards, so nicely fits with Usopp wanting to go there, and it fits with his personality, so take that win here. Turns out pretty much everyone is eating food when they shouldn't be. Vivi's standing up for our incredibly lovely little bird chum, no pun intended. Luffy thinking it might end up being cotton candy. Also though, another piece of sea lore added really makes me think that sky's the limit for Oda in this story, really? Dear lord, it's another new part and it's the first time Chopper has spoken with that insanely adorable frickin' voice. I'm throwing my win at the screen. I find myself just utterly loving the most stupid of things sometimes, like Usopp making this sound. Also though, it wouldn't be a new One Piece video if Vivi and especially Nami weren't wearing new clothes again. Sanji is still very much basically me though. I'm genuinely shocked that this guy and his crew have managed to gain so much ground on Luffy already. I'm even more shocked that he fell off his own ship and is being caught by them. In fact, this is so damn shocking, it's actually getting max wins. It's not at all how I pictured it going down.
Yeah, 本当にスワンスワン
Pun.
好みよ食べちゃいたいジュン
変な人
That absolutely perfect reaction from her.
何よ
待って待って待って冗談じゃないわよ左手で触れば
ほら元通り
Two wins here. Firstly, it's for the realism that as soon as Luffy was seemingly attacked, he drew his swords ready to defend the crew rather than just standing there or whatever. But also, it's for obviously another totally unique ability.
体格まで同じだったぜ
Like I keep on telling you, Luffy being outrageously impressed by abilities won't ever not get a win, I don't think.
この右手で顔にさえ触れれば
Credit to all of their voice actors here for changing their voices to meet this guy's voice and tone too. Damn man, where's the 18 rated version when you need it? As an aside, it's so awesome to me to see Chopper fitting in perfectly with the crew here. That was actually an incredible way to get Vivi's attention here, because she knows at some point he's physically touched her father's face, weird, but it means they've met obviously too. I swear, I think the spontaneous dancing that happens is fast becoming a favourite comedy moment of mine too. Nami's face there at the start utterly got me.
友情ってやつは付き合った時間とは関係なし
I know this was more of a joke than anything else, but you give me that music and a nice parting speech, and it does actually get me a little. That's crazy after he's been with them for all of 3 minutes. That amazing reaction collectively. I must admit, it took me a second to understand what happened.
てめえが例えば王になりすませるとしたら相当よからぬこともできるよな。
Sometimes I don't know if I'm dumb or my head works in different ways, but I hadn't considered this, and it's yet again insanely unique and clever as a way to use his power to their benefit.
今あいつに会えたことをラッキーだと考えるべきだ。対策が打てるだろ。
In addition though, Zoro is also very clever here. Not only is he cool as hell, but he's also able to think up clever stuff like this too. What the hell, dude? This just happened out of nowhere, bruh! I keep mentioning it, it keeps on happening. People and giant sea cats do get scared when Luffy gets serious. Half the win is definitely for the different type of lore to normal, but the other half is for her helping Cat-chan escape.
俺がカームベルトで海王類と勇敢に戦った時の話をしてやろう。
Chopper is so cute, believing his lies like Luffy used to at the start. The first physical representation of how important Arabasta is to Baroque works outside of the boss literally being there. I liked that.
バカ気にすんな。ありゃ雑魚だ。そうさ。本物の標的を見失っちまったら終わりだぜ。
It's so very much cool in this anime, it does sometimes break the cool meter.
そんなに似ちまうのか？そのマネマネの身に変身されちまうと。
Oda keeps on doing this and I keep on loving him for it. Sanji was inside at the time, so he never met or saw the guy.
なあ、俺は何をすればいいんだ？俺にできることが。わかった。
Speaking of stuff I love, other than Chopper naturally, is that his story hasn't been pushed aside. It's still being lightly touched on from time to time.
これから何が起こっても左腕のこれが仲間の印だ。
Take one here for this bonding moment between them and the clever idea to wrap their arms like this to ensure even if Mr. 2 changes to their shape, they'll know it's him. Vivi looking kawaii! The wind doing its thing. I've said this before, but it bugs me a little in other anime when the wind only wins when someone says something poignant or whatever. Decided to show this rather than just talk over it, as I liked the transition but also the bird's eye view of a large swath of the area. of these people looking very different to people from East Blue and their clothing too. Not running on the hungry spot.
みんなもういいぞ。
とっくに脱いでるよ。
誰にも気づかれなかったみてえだな。
My god, the writing is so effortlessly great. He's saying you can all come out now and Zoro drops a "we've been out a while." I just adore this. And the best thing is it happens all the time.
ビビちゃん
はい、なんでしょう。
どうしたの？
ちょっとほっとしてたもんで。
It's genuinely very sweet to see how Sanji can be sometimes towards the lady folk. He really does care, and it shows in moments like this one.
これからどうする？俺たちは何をすればいい？
Gave Sanji some praise, now it's time to flip to the other side of the cool coin and praise Zoro. He's very supportive here, letting her know he's there to support her still in this mission.
それはそうだけど、約束は私をアラバッサに送り届けるってことまで呆れた。まだそんなこと言ってる。
It for me makes perfect sense to go 3 for 3 and have Nami get one for the same reason. She's making it clear we're not dropping you now, we're here for you. She's awesome too.
そうだぜ、ビビ。水臭いこと言うなよ。
Heck yes, Usopp gets one as well. What a lovely crew to pretty much all get one. Shame Luffy is eating and I couldn't see Chopper yet. Probably being freaking adorable somewhere knowing him.
ありがとう。
なんとか言ってよ。ナミさんが正しい。だと。
Told you that's what he's doing. Yeah, get one too.
そういえばチョッパーも。
そりゃ助かる。大荷物だからな。頼むぜ。
わかった。
Ugh, so painfully adorable. But the main win is how eager he is to be part of the team and carry out his first mission and pull his weight to help out.
とても飯屋がある場所には見えねえな。
That hilarious look and his face and the fact that he ran flat out into the middle of the desert to find some grub. Not running on the hungry spot too.
なんだよチョッパー、いいとこなんだぞ。
何やってんだよ。買い物が先だろ。
わかってる。
I love how Chopper has already found his place quite nicely in the crew. He had no issues doing this to remind Sanji of what they came there to do.
ああ、気持ちいい。サンジが戻ってくるまでここで休ませてもらおう。
There's repeating again, perfection in terms of the voice actress chosen. In the same avenue as the pulley system in the last part heading up to the castle, it's great how there's a unique vehicle for this desert on display too. At the same time, I can appreciate the creativity here of this building being fit for purpose with what looks like a water gathering and maybe filtration system due to the long periods of no rain.
なんだ
The guy seriously has some of the best reactions though.
ラン、こんなどこで何しようってんだ。
お前の知ったことか。俺の夢を返せ。
I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I can safely say Oda is building the lore nicely here. The idea that you can bring rain by burning this stuff. Interesting. I think it's awesome how each of them are coming across various important elements of this country right from the get-go, as we've seen with Luffy and now with Chopper. It's a small win, but a lot of detail went into unloading the truck. He wonders where Chopper went. Guy says maybe someone else took it out already. He asks for help unloading more. I like it.
もう大丈夫？助かった。ありがとう。本当にありがとう。
Already putting Chopper's innate ability to talk to animals to good use right here.
聞いてもわからん。
そんな顔してます。
失礼なやつだな。
Luffy really is just out here being one of the best anime characters of all time, isn't he?
特にここ数年はほとんど雨が降ってないんです。
そりゃすげえな。
多くのオアシスが枯れていきましたです。
Slowly but surely the lore is being explained in a really organic way. In fact, it's made doubly good because it's being revealed to multiple characters in multiple areas rather than an info dump.
どうかこのことは誰にも言わないでくださいね。
いやねえよ。俺興味ねえし。
本当にお願いしますよ。
大丈夫、大丈夫。
I love how Luffy says he doesn't care and won't dob him in, but then the guy gives him food anyway, and Luffy is still saying he doesn't really care.
うわあ、素敵。
Well, Vivi, you ain't lying, are you? Also, though, at the same time, Vivi as well.
私は庶民の服
踊り子だって庶民さ。
でも砂漠を歩く
大丈夫。
The only time I've seen him argue with a woman is when he's really trying to sell how these clothes are perfect for them and everything will be fine and dandy and let's move on.
これとかやめろ
奈落の底までメロリンだ。
Oh, that contrast. I do love Chopper and I want his nosy nose to be fine, but then it's also Nami doing it. Gonna need some serious inward inflection regarding this incident. Take a win for now. Now that I think about it, totally worth a win for all of them, except for Luffy getting a change of clothing for this new country, plus Duck-san and Chopper looking adorable in theirs.
みんなの力を私に貸してくださいどうか待ってたわよ
何が起こるかわからねえのは海と一緒だろ。
It's actually nice her doing this for the first time properly. Up till now she may have felt some guilt, but now she's asking and will get her answer properly.
誰か足りなくない？
That little ending bit there just had to get one as well.
オアシスの王国にひとしずくの雨も降らなくなってから3年の月日が流れた。
Using this gorgeous map as a way to give us a greater understanding of this country and how everything is laid out, whilst also adding to the lore via the rain comment. A city scenery shot with so much detail I wanted to show it first, then talk over it. Had to do the same thing here because I was genuinely shocked that they weren't just stick figures in the background of the panning shot. They had detail to them, and then the same in the next shot too.
すまねえな。俺は1000年の命に興味はねえんだ。今日生きられりゃいい。
I know we already saw this dude a couple episodes ago, but between his looks, that being him covered in various unique markings, and the way he speaks like here, it makes him very interesting already.
黄金のリンゴ1000年生きられるマジマジマジ
It's about right that these two immediately fall for the trick afterwards.
まったく何考えてんのよ
Nami really is the best. Her character beautifully fits in with this crew so insanely well as she saves them from the scam here. I'm always so impressed by her entire being, really. By the way, how is it even physically possible that Zoro could end up looking more cool than normal in this new getup?
海賊狩りと呼ばれた俺が知らねえはずもねえマークさ。
God, I love this anime. First of all, we get the notion of lore from Zoro here, but no outright exposition type reveal, only that we know that he knows what the mark means.
ありゃ、まさか。
あなたロロノアゾロ海賊だったと
But then, as if that wasn't good enough already, he notices this woman from Logtown still on their trail.
おい、タシ。
スモーカー大佐
And then, not to be beaten by the last win, we get the reintroduction of the legendary Smoker back into the story. Get out of here! Such a great way to connect sagas and arcs. I feel it's also worth pointing out how damn close he's gotten his voice to the original voice actor who sadly passed away. Not running on the Hungry Spot 3! It's definitely time to mention again, it's another new arc, and once more the animators refuse to make characters look mostly uniform to save on time. They all look entirely different!
ものを知らねえってことが命取りになる。見ろ、肉を持ち上げた瞬間の手。
I could very much be off base here, but that dark hair and his appetite got me thinking of Luffy. I wonder if there's some relation there.
大丈夫
That is not how I thought this scene would go down. Goodness me.
お前が失敗して騒いでたんだよ。また出るか。
I felt like I just had to point out how difficult it is to match your voice and tone and everything to others, yet they did it 3 times here, seemingly effortlessly.
なんだなんだ、死んでなかったのか。きっと探せな。
Animating an insane amount of characters all moving within one scene like it's no big deal.
ヒゲ海賊団2番隊隊長ポートガス D Yes.
To make the previously mentioned lore wins and the linking together of sagas better, we now find out that Smoker knows this guy, and I'm feeling I was on the right track given the D in his name too. Let's go.
探してんだ。弟をね。
Oh heck yes, I knew it! That really opens up the story and Luffy's character in huge ways, that does. Two wins here. Firstly, it's for the city scenery shot, of course, from a totally different angle than the last one. But also that scream for food was incredibly impressive to me.
捕まるんだな。
却下。そりゃごめんだ。
まあ、そうだろうな。
This kind of standoff is so intense and badass, I love it! Max wins here because it shocked the hell out of me, but also made me laugh, and it's amazing that all three of them are now together in one location. I'm so hyped it's dangerous! Yeah, that as well. It's such a great and classic Luffy move. To lean over for a look but continue eating at the same time. Back-to-back wins here. Firstly, the destruction effects animation-wise are totally on point here and look awesome. But also, even though we don't know much about this guy at all, the fact that he does this says a lot about him. That was fantastic! It got me so hyped to find out more about their relationship, and suddenly Smoker comes in like this. They want to get to Luffy for different reasons. So hyped!
やっぱり来たか。アラバスタへ。
There is nothing more funny than Luffy maintaining straight eye contact whilst eating during this situation. How can Luffy be both the best and the worst at times like this? Spitting all over the poor guy. Not running on the full and angry spot. Even though it was funny because she was casually offering him a towel because it's so hot there, I did like how she immediately leapt into action once she understood it was Luffy. Oh my god, talk about a crazy unique ability! Oh, poor old Zoro being remembered in such a negative light when he wasn't like that at all. Did make me chuckle though. Feels like this is the first time he may be starting to understand that Luffy, in spite of the bounty, hasn't done anything wrong, but obviously it's still too early for that. I'm really pleasantly surprised by the amount of animation this episode on running all over the place. They pulled out even more stops than usual.
What
absolutely beautiful timing that was. That's so good. Two wins here. Firstly, it's nice to see them all back together for the first time since landing there. But also, like I wrote before, at win number 2567, they keep on animating loads of stuff that they don't need to, like this. Luffy is such a great character. Everything he does near enough cracks me up, and him running so hard got me laughing too. This guy getting in the middle of the fight, but shockingly, it seems his own power is enough to make Smoker's life more difficult for once. As Luffy would say, Suge! This is so good. I figured he maybe didn't know him, like he was too young when they parted or whatever, but no, he does know him. God, I love this anime. Those hand-done flame effects, though. Whenever they end an episode so good like this, I just have to drop a win for it. To know they get it so spot on timing wise as well makes it even more impressive each time. Right, there's a panda. I googled him as I was confused. Turns out it's a popular Easter egg Oda created, so take that panda related win. I was proper confused for a moment there. I'll be real, there's few things I enjoy more in these types of anime than strong foes facing off against one another. Plus the effects remain top notch too.
俺より3年早くワンピースを狙って島を出たんだ。
This somewhat surprising reveal, especially since it basically makes them rivals. And as a follow-up win, I really find it impressive that he's now looking for Luffy because he's seen the Wanted poster, not because it just randomly needed to happen in the story. Another new episode, and yet they're totally doing the same thing again with animation, doing far more than needed.
早く荷物を積んで、すぐに出航よ。急げ！
Nami taking charge but also seeing everyone running around to get the ship ready never ceases to thrill me, plus Oda goes the extra mile showing the goods that have been bought and were much needed.
まあ、やっと島に着いたばかりなのに、また船で出ちまうのか?
Chopper, you are too adorable! That's it, I'm slyly asking my wife for a Chopper figurine for my birthday or something. I'm legit obsessed and need help. I'm not even joking, I am obsessed. And I have asked my wife for a figurine, so if she does follow through in months' time, I'll put a picture on whatever video I'm working on then.
ありゃあ、おかしいな。
Going first person like it's no big deal!
何年ぶりだっけ？
さあな。
Between that music and their finally meeting back up like this, it got me ever so slightly emotional for some reason.
ルフィ、お前白ひげ海賊団に来ねえか？
やだ。
だろうな、言ってみただけだ。
俺が海賊王になる。
I do like stuff like this because it means he knows Luffy as well as we've come to know him, that there's no way he'd join his crew, as having his own nakama means everything to him. These agents are another pure example of how impressed I continue to be by the unique look and vibe of everyone. Whilst they and Oda keep on doing it, I'll keep on dishing out wins for it. Speaking of impressive things, the entire feel and look for this city is also right up there. We don't just see main streets but back alleys and so on. Really makes it feel more real to me.
たった数人の海賊団とはお前らしい。
あとは音楽家が欲しいな。
Glad he brought this up again. Feels like they're setting things up for the next person to join the crew down the line. Again, it's good how they don't just leave Luffy, but actually have a plan that makes perfect sense about hiding from the Navy, then heading out to find Luffy. Realism!
俺たちの昇格は三段跳びだ。
とにかく船を探そう。海岸に出るか。
Both of them really not feeling much of a threat here, and so choosing to walk away and carry on their conversation. This is why I'm impressed with battles in One Piece. There's no repeated movements. Each one is unique to the last. Yes, sometimes it's repeated like machine gun punches, but this is what it's like mostly. His reaction here is perfection. Don't scare me like that by suddenly firing at him. I love him so much. Such a badass! I mean, that finishing move just has to get one, plus you could hear it was Endeavour yet again. Dude is everywhere, and that panning shot was lovely too. For me, this is the height of awesome because in spite of them being so far away, he can still hook on and get back to the ship very easily, albeit without his brother sadly right now.
Oh my
I don't know how it happened, but I'm so happy that his brother managed to make his way to the boat. Maybe he ran on the flames or something similar to what Smoker can do? Still, I'm glad.
いや、いいんだ。お気遣いなく。
Simply put, just incredibly cool.
弟思いのいいやつだ。
兄弟って素晴らしいんだな。
I have to mention Nami and Vivi here, but moving swiftly on to the actual win is for their reactions to not thinking Ace could be Luffy's brother, since he's nice and respectful and can be relied on. Between Sanji, Zoro and now Ace, there's just far too much cool in this anime and it's breaking at the seams. Also, you know how I said recently about enjoying unique looking boats? How can I just ignore this thing? Ah, that's so awesome! Now that is 2 max wins. On top of the effects looking great, I was floored by the sheer power of his ability, and it made me think about what Mihawk did back in part 4 or 5. I'm blown away by that. Already Smoker proves to be a very interesting character, more so than when he was introduced in Logtown, as we learned that he hates the 7 warlords and Crocodile especially. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about when I gush over their casual funny conversations. They say cheers for Ace joining the crew. He says he's not. Cheers to the tasty drinks then instead.
やつはもともと白ひげ海賊団の2番隊隊員、俺の部下だった。
About to gush again! Oda is fantastic. He pieces together Ace and Blackbeard, who we heard about during the last arc, who wrecked that country, to tie it together with characters like this? Wow!
俺がこの国に来たのも黒ひげを湯葉で見かけたって情報をつかんだからさ。
At the same time, I was slightly wrong before. He really did just want to catch up with Luffy, but his main reason is that he's after Blackbeard, but that's still such a damn cool link. If you know me, you know I like a good solid map, so this right here, getting a lovely and clear visual look at where we are and where we're going, was very much appreciated by yours truly. Perfect end once more to a great episode. Ace has joined the crew for now, and he's awesome too. Everyone drinking to it. Let's keep on continuing to go! This scene goes to show the very human side of all the problems this country has been facing with drought, lack of food, civil war and their people dying. Just like when I mentioned Ace bowing to the family whose wall had been wrecked said a lot about him, this does the exact same thing for the king. In no world did he have to do this. Even this mini flashback works wonders by letting us know that Vivi has been taking a very active role in this country from early on, showing why she'd take drastic steps to solve their problems.
BB.
Showing that because it's just a fantastic example of a transition. He says her name, but clearly Sanji had said it, but putting the two scenes together is beautiful. Dude is clearly able to charm when he's able to make Sanji speak all nice to him like this. I'm shocked. Never did I dare to imagine that after all of the many praises, if that's a word, I've given to the crew, just living their lives and not being made up of tropes, that Chopper would then fit in so well too. It's a small thing, but check that out. It's like the camera is following her along. This freaking bird is the best! I've been so happy to have him along for so many episodes. Hope that continues to be the case. That he's around for longer, I mean. Obviously you know what the win is, but also I liked how he stopped for a quick ickle drink there.
まさか国王の座に収まるつもりでもないだろう。その国取りにはなんか裏があるかもしれねえな。
Luffy's brother proving himself to not only be a cool dude, even up against Zoro here, but also smart too. Chopper and his adorable reaction to that.
どうしたのナミさん、踊り子さんの印象は。ああ、ビビちゃんも何その格好。
I gotta admit, I'm devastated.
協力の準備すっか。
そうだな。
Sanji's way of dealing with the loss of the dancing outfits.
地に上がりたかったら俺に勝ってみな。嫌なら向こう岸へ戻んな腰抜け。だってさ。
At this point, I'm past caring. Chopper is so cute. Love how she said the final words there for the character too. But so are the seals. If they're seals, walrus-eye?
なんだ
Totes adorbs!
こうだそうそこからこうだ
I legit burst out laughing when he suddenly started to teach a class out of nowhere.
ちょっと待て、おい。そいつらも連れてきか。
How they're all neatly lined up behind him, ready to move out.
かわいい。
Goodness me, what a series of super quick events played out there. But I'm glad in the end they were okay with leaving them behind and they were alright with being left behind. Didn't make me too sad.
この町を見れば全てわかるわ。この国に何をしたのか。アラバスタの国民がどんな目に遭っているのか。
Oda makes a real good point here of showing the destruction in the background as she says these words. The country is being utterly ruined for one man's greed. They did some real nice walking animation on all of them for this scene.
積み荷を下ろせ。
Really adding to the lore of this country by showing a scene from the past where everyone was busy working jobs and everything looked to be thriving.
その粉から霧状の煙を発生させて空に立ち上がらせることで人工的に雨を降らせることができるの。
I don't exactly know about the science behind that, but I'm real happy Oda didn't settle with magic green dust that makes rain and actually explained it away a bit.
だけどそれには大きな落とし穴があったの。それは隣の国の干ばつなの。
あ、そっか。ほっときゃ隣の国に自然に降るはずだった雨を横取りしちまったってわけだ。
From a lore point of view, that's absolutely brilliant to me. Clearly you're stealing rain from elsewhere when you use it. What a great thing to write into the story here.
それ以来世界政府ではダンスパウダーの製造所持を世界的に禁止してるの。
Take a follow-up win here for fully explaining away why the world government would ban something so great, because it turns out not so amazing in the end.
アルバーナの雨は奇跡でもなんでもなかったんだ。我々が乾き飢えているのはみんな国王のせいだったんだ。
Very clever plan by Crocodile to fake tip that over and reveal the powder, making people assume he's been using it and want to rise up against him for causing their woes.
宮殿内に大量に運び込まれたダンスパウダーが見つかった。
宮殿の中にまで手が回ってたのか。
この運河も何者かの手で破壊された。
Take one here for just going over all the ways this poor country has been screwed over by this scam of his in order to gain power. From top to bottom they put the wheels in motion.
まさかバロックワークスの追っ手か。
They actually managed to create quite a genuinely creepy scene right there.
危険はないさ。街を渡る風が廃墟の建物に反響してる。
I can see why Usopp relies on him here. He keeps a cool head and was insanely cool explaining what was causing the sounds.
父がこの国の人々が何をしたというの。
The story really leaning into its darker elements here, and I never hate One Piece for doing it. Just reminds me it's not a kid's show, you know?
あの男がこの国を欺いてることに誰も気づいていないのよ。
I get the feeling that this emotional speech is going to be what pushes Luffy to make this his own personal mission as he often does, like with Nami breaking down in the Arlong arc. I knew it! Take that win! I'm so smart! Take another here as well as they come back angry, having taken out some of that anger, whilst Ace nicely helps Vivi here to bury that poor soul.
真実を話して無駄な血が流れるのを止めるのよ。
わかった。
I love how he and no one else questions her or what she says needs to be done. He's just immediately on board. I'm giving this max wins, first of all because I really enjoyed the new song, very catchy, but also the animation was great from start to finish, and it was very chopper focused. Easy max wins for me.
あんまりああ言わないでよルフィ、余計だれちゃうじゃない。
Luffy would be so irritating to do this with.
これダメだ。暑いのは苦手だ。
You might think the win is for Chopper being cute, but plot twist, it's for Zoro being kind enough to drag him.
何をかんなよー、かよバカにすんなー、バケモノ
This. But also, though, surprisingly putting quite a fair bit of animation into his transformation there. Even though it's a little OTT with the amount of water being spat out, I can still appreciate the realism of the scene of holding onto your water and not wasting energy like Vivi says here. Ace is oddly quiet too.
熱を遮るもののない砂漠では昼間は焼けつき、夜は氷点下まで冷える。
We get another little science lesson here about why it's so hot in the desert during the day but so cold at night.
冬島の空はいつも厚い雪雲に覆われてたから、こんないっぱいの星初めてだ。
Okay, to hell with it. You know what the win is already. Let's move on!
またゲモン来てるもんにゃん。こら中よバカにすんだー、バケモノ
Chopper.
This is where One Piece excels because they use the same joke from the start of the episode but in reverse. This time Usopp is praising his fur. I mean, it's the same thing. It's hilarious.
ずっと一緒にいるうちにだんだん分かってきたの。
あれがルフィのやり方なのさ。
It's actually a very sweet scene here with both of them praising Luffy for being different, really. He's not a typical captain, but they do respect him in another way to normal. They really care for him.
だがありがとう。俺が気にしてるんじゃないかと心配してくれたんだろ。
That's actually legit beautiful, that is, because it's exactly what I was worried about with win number 2651, where I'm saying he's being oddly quiet, but no, he was okay and not thinking what I thought. That's amazing.
これがエビか、すげえ。
砂漠にエビなんているかよ。ほんとだ、砂漠エビかな。
It's really something about all three of them thinking this is a shrimp that had me laughing way harder than I would have thought.
何か来る。
Just like I often point out with new crew members proving their worth in the story, Chopper is able to do so via means such as this, even outside of his doctor skills.
なんでいきなり人が寝てんのに。
It's a nice added touch to show Ace get up first and then proceed to help Vivi up here.
まだダメだ。ビビちゃんの許しが出るまではな。
ビビ弁当食おう、力出ねえよ。
I like this side to Sanji. Luffy is asking for some lunch, but he's refusing it until she says so because he knows that she'll be able to ration them across the desert.
じゃんけんで勝ったやつが全員の荷物を運ぶんだ。重いぞ。熱いし。
Talking about things that are classic Luffy, saying whoever wins has to carry all the stuff and then winning the game and being forced to carry it all. I always like callbacks, and I can't help but fondly remember when these were given to him after a duel that he lost by the daughter of the guy who knew his father. Still being used all this time later.
しっかりしろ。今医者を呼んでくるからな。大怪我して動けない鳥がいっぱいいるんだ。チョッパー。
I found it really nice that Luffy didn't look at them as food and actually cared enough to get back out into the sun and grab Chopper. Plus, Chopper being equally as eager to help too. Plus, look at little Chopper running along.
騙されちゃったんだから。
てめえの頭は鳥イカか。
Normally this wouldn't get a win, but I just had to for the moment when the bird was being proper cheeky whilst drinking their water and stuff. Jesus, this desert really is deadly. There's just animals that'll do you in, sandstorms that'll blow you away, and birds that'll trick you, and now these things too. Also, whilst I'm at it, I figured it's good to also drop a win for, again, giving this country size and scale, like during the Drum Island arc. By making them travel for episodes, it gives it real size. I was actually ever so slightly worried when it ate Luffy, and then felt a lot better when suddenly this happened.
ゴムゴムのピストル。
Even though it took a bit of an awkward amount of time, he does rescue this dude, and it does make me wonder if it could end up being the one who helped Chopper. That'd be sick. Then just as you think you'll get a second to breathe without action, this ends up going down.
しょうがねえな。
至らねえ弟で世話をかける。
How these two legends don't just sit there complaining about Luffy, but once Sanji raises the issue of maybe him being hungry out there, they both get up at once to go help and find him.
また砂嵐か。
なんであいつラクダに乗ってるの？
Things getting proper intense all of a sudden as Luffy is making his way back to them and something is chasing. They collective reactions, but also what the hell even is that? It's huge! Brilliant and super easy win to hand out there, each of them getting ready to attack and in doing so and looking great.
あいつらが相手だと怪物に同情しちゃうわ。
I mean, they took it down so easily, it has to get one. Just shows the utter insane strength of all of them, really.
言い忘れてたけど、サンドラオオトカゲは2匹1組で狩りをするのよ。
言っとけよ。
I knew something had to be brewing, as I believe this was the 4th time she forgot to mention something. Speaking about incredible strength!
やっぱりだ。
Ha! I knew it too! Take that win. Glad he got out of there alive. Being nice to animals is always a win. Nice one, Luffy.
アホ。
オーケー。タコ。
じゃあまつげってことで。
お前、それ一番変だぞ。
This camel being the camel version of Sanji.
マリさんも好きだ。どうぞ急げ。
乗れ。
See, these are the little comments I love to see added. Even as they're rushing after Nami and Vivi, who've taken off on the camel, Zoro quickly says to Chopper, hop on. So he's still gonna carry him, bless him. I have no clue who these people are, what's up with their ship, but damn if they didn't hype me ready for the next part. Darth Weirdo, Mal Liao, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Nazomi, Orekeeper, Otter A. Bodonisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christian Tuasa, Commander Chris, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, James Tafoya, Your Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfoik, Kylie Wub, Lisa Marie Timp, Luis Minito, Magnus, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satakayari, Zion 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Sumi Bito, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Def the Kid 123, Devon, Dragon Defender, Esso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Hoof to Loads Ritter, Israel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Juffa 6263, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blansett, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Monty, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q Flash, Ryan DeVries, Sarcastic Truth, Snow, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Vernon Hogan, Will Sass, Willie Man,